Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us, and happy Global Entrepreneurship Week. I'm Karen Chalmers, the Senior Director of Brand and Engagement at Tech Alliance. As the Regional Innovation Center for Southwestern Ontario, Tech Alliance empowers world-class ventures and fuels growth in Canada's innovation economy. We champion and coach entrepreneurs, amplify and impact businesses, and contribute to a bold technology community across Southwestern Ontario. If you'd like to engage with our venture growth team, read stories about innovation that is shaping our community with world-changing ventures, or join other upcoming experiences, I invite you to subscribe to our newsletter or book a discovery call by using the links in the chat. We are the place for dreamers, innovators, and world-changing ideas. In pursuit of creating spaces where innovation thrives, we must act, be bold, and lift others as we rise. And we strive to do that in all that we do. To put it simply, we support entrepreneurs and ventures at every step of their entrepreneurial journey. Before we get started, there's a few housekeeping points. Be assured that your mic is on mute, so relax and enjoy. Today's session will be recorded and available for replay on our YouTube channel. And I encourage you to add any questions for Sarah in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, and add any comments to our active chat feature. I predict we will go over time again, so like we did last time with Sarah's session. So keeping the conversation going forward, Sarah will be live on Twitter to answer questions from the live audience. With the majority of business interactions happening online, investing in copy that converts to sales should be a topmost priority for all ventures. Leave this morning with concise, practical know-how on creating marketing emails with impact and results. This session promises to hit the mark for all professional writers to copy creating newbies. Again, I'm thrilled to have the chance to introduce Sarah Stockdale, growth marketing and content guru, and a wildly impressive human being. And for the second part of this two-part series today, we are having Add to Cart, How to Write Great Marketing Emails. Sarah is the founder and CEO of GROWCLASS, a digital personal professional training company focused on helping women and marginalized people secure six-figure salaries and build 7- and 8-figure businesses. She's also the host of The Growth Effect, a podcast from the Globe and Mail. She's also a guest tech expert for CBC and CTV, and a TEDx speaker, and the author of We Need to Talk About This. So I invite you to grab a pen or have your hands ready on the keyboard to take down some tips and tricks from this industry expert on how to have your email marketing generate the sales it has the potential to do. So now I hand it over to Sarah, who will walk us through how to write great marketing emails. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Hey, everyone. How's it going? Please pop into the chat and say where you're calling in from, what kind of soft pants you're rocking, what kind of business you're building. I would love to hear some of that in the chat so we can make sure that we address specific questions that you have about your industry. So toss it in there. We'll be using the chat a ton, so please get comfy with it and come say hi. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Karen. As Karen mentioned, my name is Sarah Stockdale. I'm the founder of GROWCLASS. Oh my gosh, Libby is in Leslieville. I am also in Leslieville. We're neighbors. That's exciting. It's the best. It's the best Ville, just saying. And I love puns. So if you have any great puns on hand, please toss them in the chat. It'll just absolutely make my day. I'm the founder of a company called GROWCLASS. We basically exist because when I started my career in tech, there was nowhere for me to go where I felt included, and I saw people who looked like me represented in non-fluffy education about marketing and business building. So we have a big ass warm community of wonderful people, and we help coach them and make sure that they are successful in their careers and businesses. And oftentimes that means they make more money, and that makes me warm and fuzzy inside. Oh my gosh, Dorchester representing. I'm from Dorchester. Okay, what is going on with this chat? This is very exciting. All of the people in here are from my favorite places. Before I get started, this is a question that a lot of folks ask. So if you want the slides from today, you can head to that landing page and download them anytime. Just so that if you feel like you got to take a lot of notes, don't worry about it. I got you covered. So I'm going to start. People are doing the pun thing and I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to start with a little bit of a hard truth. And I want you to tell me in the chat if this resonates with you. If you were to look at your inbox right now and open 10 random emails, 10 emails at absolute random, most of them would suck. Most of them wouldn't address you. Most of them wouldn't address your needs, and most of them wouldn't actually give you any value. Does anyone have an inbox full of junk? Just me? Tell me in the chat, inbox full of junk. Just say, yep, me too. Yeah, people are raising their hands. That makes me happy too. So there's a very exciting opportunity we have because most emails are crap. If we are the ones who can figure out how to write really incredible business emails, we are going to take advantage of one of the best marketing channels there is out there. So for every dollar you spend on email marketing campaigns, you're going to make $44 in return. That's on average. And you know how much crap there is in that inbox. So if you get good at it, you can actually make that number far exceed your expectations. So the other point I'm going to make here is email is the only channel of communication with your customers that you fully own, right? For every other channel that we have, we are on social platforms, we are running ads, we are hoping that people find us through SEO and organic search, and we are always being mediated by another company. And usually that company is Facebook. And if any of y'all have been reading the news lately, Facebook isn't the best company. And their algorithm is going to consistently change. And that's not always going to benefit you and your business. So you have to develop channels that are going to give you a direct line to your customer that you don't have to pay Facebook to talk to them. Because that algorithm could change on a dime, or Instagram and Facebook could go down as they did a few weeks ago. And then you've lost your connection to your customer. Or you have to pay an exorbitant amount of money just to talk to them, which is nonsense. Oh, amazing. Doug is implementing email marketing for a local legion to help grow businesses in London. I love that. I am from Dorchester. I'm from the London area. So these are all of my people. I love it. So today we're going to just figure out how to write good emails. Okay, we're going to go through 3 simple tips to make this work for you. And I promise, if you follow these tips, if you go back and reflect on your emails and use these tips to change them and make them better, you are going to get better results. I can tell you that with full confidence because we have been teaching email marketing for a long time. We've had over 500 people come through GROWCLASS, and I have seen them have incredible results, even just from making some simple changes. So let's get into it. These are your 3 tips. You're going to make it about them. You're going to give them a hook, and you're going to be Brad about it. None of those things are supposed to make sense yet. That is okay. First, we're going to make it about them. Good email marketers are psychologists. Good email marketers are inside the head of the customers at all times. And you are not allowed to send an email. I'm making a rule for all of us here. I think there's like 50 of us in here. I'm making a rule for us. Unless we can answer the question, how does this add value to the person reading it? We do not get to send that email. Every single email we write and send has to be in the benefit for your customer, has to add value to their life, has to teach them something or give them something or help them with something that they're afraid of. So that means most of the stuff you usually send emails about, you don't get to send emails about in the way that you used to send them, right? Because no one cares. No one cares about your launch. No one cares about your new feature. No one really cares about your event unless you're positioning it properly. Definitely, and this goes for startups, nobody cares that you hired a new C-suite executive. I am so tired of those emails. And to be honest, no one actually really cares that you're having a sale. These are things we're doing away with. Today, we announce our newest. Our fall line is here. Get instant access to our exclusive community. Crush your fall with our 10 sales hacks. What did you notice about every single one of those lines? Tell me in the chat. As you're reading all of those first lines of email, what are you noticing? Yeah, Sarah and Marie have it. Us focused, our Yes, it's all about we, it's all about us, right? Every single one of those statements is about you or your company or your offering and has nothing to do with the end user, has absolutely nothing to do with their needs or their wants or their fears or their desires. So this is an email that I wrote early days of GROWCLASS. You can catch all of these errors here, right? This is just me trying to write a quick sales email when we very first launched. We launched our new course, GROWCLASS. GROWCLASS is a growth marketing course that will teach you everything you need to grow your business. It's the result of months of love and hard work, and we're so excited to share with you today. And then I go into bullet points, 75 video lessons, 35 downloadables, 5 industry experts, blah, 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 right? No one cares that we worked for months on this. No one cares that we put a ton of love and hard work in it. And no one cares that we're excited to share it with you. And GROWCLASS having a whole bunch of these features, 75 videos, 35 downloadables, access to a community of marketers and founders, great. What does that have to do with me? That just sounds like a list of stuff. So we need to remember that if we're going to write emails like that, we are not going to get that $44 of return on that $1, right? So we're going to answer the question, and I don't promise not to use swears, but I do promise not to say anything that would be uninclusive. So swears, no uninclusive language. Why should I give a fuck, right? That email that I wrote doesn't answer that question at all for that end user. It doesn't say, you're waking up at 4 a.m. terrified that your business isn't making enough money. You are panicking, looking at your Stripe dashboard, not sure where your next sale is going to come from. That is a why should I give a fuck? That is inside the head of our customers. It is not about us. It's about them. So come back and ask yourself, what benefits are you offering the customer? What about their life will be different after working with you or buying your product or taking your course or getting your service? When does it make the most sense in their day to read the email? Not after you finished writing it, but when do they need to hear this? Are they someone who's busy with small kids who they're not going to have a chance to read their email until after 7:30? Okay, we're going to send the email at 8 then. I don't care that it's the evening. That's what works for the customer. A lot of people think that if they send email at 4 a.m. and it's the first thing someone reads when they wake up, that's going to be effective. And you'll notice this, especially over Black Friday, you will get a lot of in the middle of the night emails that you'll wake up to. And how many people in the chat love waking up to a whole shitload of email? That for me, it spikes my cortisol. If I wake up and I've got 50 new emails, my cortisol is through the roof. I'm not excited to read those emails, and I'm definitely not buying anything in my bed at 6 a.m. scrolling, right? So if you can't answer those questions, it's time to do some digging. If you can't answer those questions, you need to get on the phone with your customers. You need to get on the phone. And if it's not customers, a lot of the time, non-for-profits, this is donors or community groups. This is people in your community. I think it was Doug that said he was working with the Legion. So what we want to do is have conversations with those people about the things that matter to them, that intersect with what our business does. This is what I do every single day. We have a Slack channel of every single one of our GROWCLASS students and every single one of our alumni. And I am just in there talking to people about their marketing campaigns and about their businesses and about their wants and their fears and their worries and what else they're looking for from our programming. I am literally nonstop talking to our students, and that gives me a lot of clarity about how I can write copy to bring in more people who are like them and how I can address their fears and their hesitations and their worries head on so that they feel more comfortable joining our community and being part of our program. So let's go back to this crappy email. What did we do here? A lot of people notice there's we copy instead of you copy. Anyone who's taken a course with me before on copywriting knows that really great copywriters, and your English teacher from grade 8 is going to hate me for this, really great marketing copywriters write in the second person. We write as though we're having a conversation with a single person. We write you copy. We don't write, from the third person as some omnipresent narrator. That doesn't feel personal. And we definitely don't write from the first person as though we are the most important part of the story, because we're not. Everything you write is an intimate piece of communication with your customers. Anytime you're writing a landing page, anytime you're writing an email, remember, someone is opening this maybe on their phone, maybe on their laptop, but they're by themselves. You're not addressing a group of people when you're writing an email or a piece of copy. You are addressing one person, and you have to know as much as you can about them and their experience to make that copy worth their time. So one of the things that we're going to do, and if you've taken one of my copywriting classes before, you'll know that I hammer on this a lot, is you're going to take away the features. See, in this email, we've got that list of bullet points. These are all features. None of these are talking about what benefit I'm going to be receiving from an emotional level, because that's the part of our brain that makes the decisions about sales. What is the benefit that I'm going to be receiving from taking an action on this email? So an example, feature, we have 75 video lessons. Our products are locally made. Benefit, you're going to have access to expert content whenever you need it to solve problems in your business. Or for this example, you can feel good about supporting a local small business. One of them is about you. One of them is about the emotional reaction that your reader should have to your content. So here's an example, and we've gotten better since this. This deck is a couple months old, but this is an example of how we revise that copy to focus on our customers. So one of the things that we learned a lot of the time is what our customers are looking for is to build their confidence in copywriting, in SEO, in ads, in Google Analytics, and actually feel like they know what they're talking about and they know what they're doing. So if you're on the fence, here's a bit of what you can expect. When you enroll in GROWCLASS, you'll learn how to build a proven growth plan to grow in even the weirdest of circumstances. You can tell I'm writing this in a pandemic, right? You'll get an uncommon sense of confidence that so few of us get to experience, that you actually know these channels and how to execute them for your business, your clients, and your company. You'll join an incredible community of business owners, marketers, and founders who are supporting each other as we navigate learning growth and coming out of this fog. You'll stop feeling like you're pushing a boulder up a hill when it comes to growing and retaining customers. It can be so exhausting. You'll level up your career and your ability to affect real change for a business. Now, remember where we came from, 35 downloadables. Now I'm affecting real change for a business, and I've got an uncommon sense of confidence, and I'm armed with a support network, and I actually feel like there's a sense of ease in growing my business. Okay, so now that we've made it about them, we're going to give them a hook. Now, those of you who are creative writing friends, we already know what a hook is. It's the first part of a story that pulls you in. Oh, Maria's asking, will people read that much copy? That's a really great question. And actually, this is something that I learned recently. So when I first started out in SaaS, I kind of subscribed to this like very startup mentality that people don't read. And when I shifted and started doing marketing for services and courses, everything was long. All of the copy was long. All of the landing pages were long. All of the emails were long. And I thought, you know, being this like high and mighty tech startup marketer, I was like, well, they're just doing it wrong. I'm just going to write short copy and it's going to convert. But the thing is, it depends on what you're selling. So I'm selling a $2,500 course. People aren't going to trust that this is actually what they need, understand the value proposition of that, and make a decision on a small amount of copy. They actually need quite a bit more information to make an informed decision for something at that price point. If I was selling $10 whatever ring light, I would probably use a lot less copy, right? Because the decision-making process is a lot shorter for that person. So you need to match the amount of copy that you're writing to the decision-making process of that customer. Nathan asks, is there a direct relationship with the price of your product and the length of your copy? Yes, 100%. It also depends on your product. So I know what a lipstick is. Like I know what a lipstick is. It doesn't take me long to be sold on a lipstick. If your product is $25, but it's something new, you don't have a product that's, you know, that people have encountered a million times before, you might need a little bit more copy, even though it's $25, because you have to develop that value proposition for them. So combination of price of the product and where your customer is on their learning journey. So if you're very, very, very top of funnel, they're coming in cold, they don't know you very well. Even with a lower price product, you might need a little bit more copy to sell them. You might need a few more testimonials. You might need better press logos. You might need, you might need to do a little bit more work to get them to convert. Also, if they're lower down in the funnel, if you've been talking to them for 2 months, you might need less copy to get them over the line because they're already qualified. They're already warm for you. So think about price of your product, length of the sales cycle. So how much information does someone need to make a good decision on this? How new or innovative is your product? Do people have a baseline understanding of what you do? And then the third piece is, where in the funnel are they? Are they just learning about this for the first time? Or have you been having this conversation with them for 2 months and they're completely educated on your product or your service? So, and you can always test. I would A/B test a very light email with a big call to action against a very text heavy email to see what converts better. Yeah. Yeah. Seema says surgeons don't tend to read long emails. Exactly. Academics tend to read long emails. The other thing too is, like, I never thought marketers would read long emails because I don't read long emails. But if the writing is good enough and they feel like 2 things are happening, 1, they're learning how to write a good sales email by reading your email, and 2, they're getting sold. A lot of the time I get people responding to emails from GROWCLASS being like, hey, I'm a marketer at this company. I just want to say this is a great email. And so a combination of, like, we're doing some teaching with our sales emails and we're also selling with our sales emails. Okay, back to the hook. So your customer is busy and you need to earn their attention. Again, you can grab these slides here. So I'm going to tell you about something called the Moth Effect. So my friend, Drew Dudley, who's a leadership speaker and a best-selling author, he had a viral TED Talk called Leading with Lollipops, which is my favorite. When I was building a creative mornings talk, I was really nervous because I was going to give, a talk downtown Toronto to about 500 people. And I was really struggling with how to start it, because I know within the first 15 or 30 seconds of the talk, people have decided whether or not they care. They've decided whether or not to listen to you. It's the same thing with writing emails, right? If you read the first 2 lines of the email and you're not interested, delete, gone. You don't get that long to get someone to make a decision on whether or not your content is worthy of their time. And you're doing work. You're trying to earn their time, both when you're giving talks and when you're writing copy. So Drew told me, first off, I gave my talk to him and he said it was not good. And then he said, I want you to go and watch YouTube videos of the Moth. So if you're not familiar with the Moth, it's a storytelling, kind of like coffee shop pop-up that started in Brooklyn. It's huge now. And you go in and you write your name on a piece of paper and they put it in the hat. And if they read your name, you have to go up on stage and tell a story. And so some of the greatest storytellers in the world kind of hone their craft at the Moth. There's a podcast, there's YouTube videos. And one of the things you'll notice, 0% of people start with colloquialisms. Hey, how's everybody's day going? Nobody starts like that. Nobody starts by introducing themselves. Nobody cares really about you or your credentials or your credibility. A lot of the time when we start giving a talk, we feel like we have to earn the audience's respect first. But really what you have to do is earn their imagination. You have to earn their intrigue. So what folks for the Moth do is they just start. They start into their story and they say something that's going to captivate you as their first sentence. So my creative mornings talk starts not with, I'm Sarah Stockdale, I'm the founder of GROWCLASS, blah, 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 blah. It starts with, I'm going to tell you about the most depressing month of my life. Let the other person on the stage do the intro for you. Get right to it. I'm going to tell you about the most depressing month of my life. You could have heard a pin drop in that room. Not only am I hooking you in from the very first sentence, but I'm offering some vulnerability to the audience, which is intriguing for folks. So how do you use this in email? When you're writing your email, think about the first sentence as that like intrigue moment, right? Try to use the moth effect. So this is an email that I wrote to the Grow Class community. I had one of those relationship ending experiences with a brand lately. Okay, I'm leaning in, I'm curious. Tell me the tea. Something bad happened. I want to know what happened. People also really like gossip and they really like to hear a story. So when you're writing those emails, make sure that first line really pulls them in. Every time I write, we need to talk about this, which is my personal newsletter. I started with Good Morning, Gorgeous. I've been doing that for the last 3 years. And when I miss a week, people will email me and say, I miss being called gorgeous this week, because there's some consistency there and people just expect that amount of intimacy. So how do we do this? How do we find a hook? What was something unexpected you learned recently about a product, your customer, or your industry? What is an unpredictable opinion you hold about your industry? Or what is an exciting customer story you can just drop them right into and start telling? So, and then I will do a very quick point on subject lines because people always ask me this when I'm doing an email marketing thing. A lot of the time people just say what's in the email in the subject line. You shouldn't have a subject line that doesn't have anything to do with your email. That's not okay. A lot of the time you're kind of catfishing people at that point, but you don't want to give away the meat in the subject line. So you want to tease what's going to happen in the email, not tell them. You want to ask a thought-provoking question. So a lot of the time I find the emails with the best open rates that I have questions in them, because humans are designed to want to close loops. We don't like leaving things open. We don't like leaving a question unanswered. So if I've planted a question in your brain, you're going to want the answer. You're going to want to open that email to close that loop. And then stop the scroll. So think about somebody's inbox is a giant Excel spreadsheet. What is going to make your email stand out as they're scrolling? Is that you're going to use all lowercase when everyone else is using sentence case? Is it you're going to add an emoji? Is it you're going to have one of those questions? Is it you're going to have something fun in your preview text? Don't ignore the preview text. That is a good spot to have something fun. Last tip, super quickly, be Brad about it. What do I mean? So when I was a kid, and tell me in the chat if this was a similar experience that you had. We didn't grow up with a ton of money. And when I was a kid, I would go over to my friends' houses and my mom would say, the only thing you're allowed to ask for is a glass of water. If they offer you anything, the only thing you're allowed to ask is to have is water. So no chocolate milk, no chocolate cake, like just water. She didn't want us to be a burden on any of our neighbors when we were over their house, and she wanted us to be polite. So anyone else water kids or do this with your kids in the chat? Tell me if you're a water person. I 100% was a water kid. So the only thing I was allowed to ask for growing up was a glass of water. And that happens a lot when we write emails, right? Some water kids in here, yes. People's parents used to say something similar. So when we do things like this in our emails, when we say get started, or when we say try now, we are asking for something unspecific from our customer. We are not giving them a call to action where they understand what's actually going to happen on the other end of it. We are asking for water. We are dancing around the thing that we want. So learn more, get started, try now. Maybe at the top of the funnel, those are helpful because they're not super scary requests. You're only asking for water, but eventually you're going to have to ask for the thing you actually want. You're going to have to ask them to join your course or to buy your product or to attend your event. You're going to have to ask for what you want, not just water. You can't imply what you want someone to do with your marketing material. You have to actually ask for it. So if you could ask for whatever you wanted to drink right now, anything in the world, what would you ask for? Tell me in the chat. Right now, I think I would want a sugar cookie latte, oat milk, half sweet from Starbucks. I think that's what I would would ask for right now, not water. I would ask for something very specific, my very specific thing that I want. So water people, folks who are not used to coming to something with a lot of entitlement, I want to challenge you a little bit this morning to ask for what you actually want. Not only from your marketing copy, but if someone looks to do a partnership with your business, or someone asks you to speak at an event and you want to get paid, you actually have to bring that request forward. You have to ask for more than just water, or you are going to end up just really hydrated and bored as hell for the rest of your life. So we are going to get ours. We are going to ask for what we actually want in our calls to action. So we're going to make it about them. We're going to give them a hook, and we're going to be proud about it. Yes, we are going to stop asking for water. Honestly, I really do think that those of us who are water kids have that kind of ingrained in us. We don't know how to be a little bit more entitled about our lives. We don't know how to say, you know, I think you should join GROWCLASS. This is the thing that's going to help you. Sign up now. Instead, we say, learn more, or email me if you have any questions. Very, very watered down statements, okay? We are going to be both hydrated and satisfied today. Not just hydrated. Is shop here a good call to action? No. Sorry, that was very blunt, but no, not really, because shop here is relatively vague, right? What is actually going to happen when they hit that button? Are you directing them to a very specific product? Are you directing them to like a very specific thing that you want them to buy? So shop here is still kind of vague. It's still a little bit of a water, it's still a bit of a water call to action. So get a little bit inventive with it. And when you're reading emails that come into your inbox, what makes you click, right? Keep a running tally of what actually worked for you, what helped you convert. And if you need them and you need to mull on it for a little bit and then come back to it, please feel free to download the slides there and be proud about it. Ask for your cranberry ginger ale, ask for your soy latte, ask for some coffee, some good coffee. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And thank you so much to Tech Alliance for having me. This is how you can get in touch with me. And if you, okay, one quick thing. Lori says, but why Brad? Picture Brad. Picture of Brad. Brad's not asking for water. Brad's part of Sigma Chi. Brad's asking very specifically for what he wants. He's grown up with a little bit of entitlement and a lot of money. We're going to channel Brad when we're asking for things that we want. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Please feel free to reach out with more questions on Twitter. I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. You've gone and done it again, delivering an information-rich presentation. And I'm sure everyone here is running to implement what they've learned. You know, we're all going to remember, make it about them, give it a hook, and be Brad about it, or maybe Karen about it. Investing in the creative and thoughtful and succinct email copy is such a game changer. And thank you for letting us in on how you make it part of your business practices. This concludes the Add to Cart series, the series that we ran over the two sessions here. But we're really excited and elated to announce that Sarah will be joining us live in person in London on February 17th for a keynote on changing the landscape of entrepreneurship, current trends, and the tech ventures, and how we forge ahead with efficient, effective, and inclusive, thriving workspaces. A huge shout out to our sponsors for this event, which is Robertson Hall Insurance. Tickets are on sale now. Sarah's just dropped a link into the chat for you. And I want to thank you all for sharing this space with us today. You can continue the conversation over on Twitter with Sarah. And until next time, be well and take good care of yourselves. Bye.